So it'll be really interesting kind of what avenue he chooses, what opening move. Liem, okay, he has started with 1d4, and if white brings out his dark square bishop on the next move, or the next two moves, we would have seen a London system, but no, that's not going to happen. Wow, we see the King's Indian defense. Not something we usually see from Magnus these days. Look at this, white occupying the center with a lot of pawns. Black is just going to play on his first 3 ranks for the next, well, for the foreseeable future. And okay, Magnus is not usually his style, but he did have some success with this opening last summer during the World Cup and some other events. And okay, this little pawn push is one of the most fashionable lines of the King's Indian, and Magnus just looking out the window there, looking off to the right. He's just trying to pick an opening, pick maybe which black pawn to push. You need to challenge white's center before it's too late, before white just gets everything, gets a dream position, and there we go. The center actually blocks itself up, so no trades in the middle of the board. That would only have helped black, because the white king is in the center, and white's king being in the center isn't such an issue now that things are blocked up in the middle.
And just checking the database, I can see that this particular little pawn push that Lei made very quickly is actually his specialty. He plays it very regularly.
It's going on the attack with the white pawns. Look at white's pawns in the center and on the right side of the board, all on light squares. And you talked about clamps, Jovanka. He now, Liem, is trying to clamp down, stop black from breaking out. And this knight retreat, I'm just trying to think. Actually, Gawain Jones recently released a chessable course on the black side of the King's Indian, and I think this position or something very similar at least features in that chessable course. So maybe Magnus has been checking out what Gawain Jones, one of the world's leading experts on the King's Indian, has recommended. Really interesting play. Note how white's rook actually stepped to the side, lining itself up with the black king, so white cannot castle.
So it's something that he believes in, and I love it when players do this, because it means that us as chess players can actually copy what he's doing. have an active plan. So now the black king simply can take a step diagonally backwards.
Now, white's pawns are dropping. Look at this. All of black's pieces, both rooks and the black king, are looking at the f4 pawn, and that pawn is doomed. So white abandons its defense, and Magnus now, still some hard work to be done, re-coordinating his pieces. Maybe there'll be some annoying checks against the black king. There we go. But, okay, he's won a pawn. It took him a long, long time. It took him 30, 40 moves, but he won a pawn. Now back to square one. He has to reroute his black king maybe back where it came from, and start attacking these remaining white pawns. Liem just defending both of them with his rook.
What do you think about that move? Because it does allow black to step backwards with his f-rook and offer a rook trade.
Yeah, that would be, I mean, that would require some serious calculation. Offering a rook trade right now, it might work. Probably does work, but big decision for Magnus. Any trades that you can consider with 10 seconds left do require courage and good calculation, and he goes for this rook trade. This is either winning now, completely winning, or white can hold the draw with really precise play, but it feels closer to the win because black's king, I was going to say the king is going to come across, what blocks that off. The only problem for Magnus now is his pawns are doubled.
Yeah.
And double pawns rather than connected pawns, it's not ideal.
That's true, but somehow or other it just feels like, black has to now mobilize the king, perhaps try to work the king back towards the center where all the action is happening.
I must say, I think practical terms, I hate that decision swapping rooks, because look at this, black's remaining pawn now, the pawn at the top of the board, the f7 pawn, is about to get traded off, and white still has a couple of pawns running. I just think Magnus, maybe, 3 seconds he made that move with, he might still be winning, but he's made it difficult for himself, keeping the rooks on, maybe, just slightly more practical, and, it's one pawn versus one
Whoa, look
pawn.
at the bar!
That's the thing.
And Magnus reacts. Has he blundered the win?
You think he's blundered the win? Yeah, he absolutely has, because now the white pawn will just run, and it can run for a long time.
Don't run with the pawn. Drop your bishop back, attack black's remaining pawn. If the two pawns get traded off, there we go. It's a simple draw. White's king coming up and rook against bishop is a draw. Magnus, is he even going to try? He doesn't try, and Liem escapes.